I know we stay in the north, and the argument's always going to be, well, I like the change of seasons. Tell me that January 15th. Just tell me on January 15th you like the change of seasons. The second thing they say is, well, my family's all around me. And so again, let me ask the question, why do you want to live near your family? Okay, whole nother conversation. And but I am convinced that people in the north don't realize they can move. And when you realize how less expensive it is to have a second home, you're in the right spot, because Agent Attraction can take care of that. Today, we're going to talk about the Agent Attraction mindset. My name is Eric Golden. I'm one of the leaders of Freedom Team, and we're excited that you are here. We don't take this lightly. We know that you could be doing a lot of things on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central, but you've chosen to spend the next few minutes with us. And when I say the next few minutes, look at me, ready? I mean 60 of them. Don't do 5 minutes and bow out, because you'll miss something. And sometimes you'll do 55 minutes and think, okay, I got it all. Oh, you'll miss something. If you've decided to go to the gym, you might as well work out. If you decided to go to the restaurant,
Para español, oprime la tecla de asterisco.
No se preocupe, Brian. Van a ser rico. It'll be fine. I want everybody to know this. You are the boss of you. As a kid, we all grew up and people would say, oh, you're not the boss of me. And you said it to other people. If you had siblings, you're not the boss of me. And you've heard it 100 times. You're not the boss of me. I had 2 kids, and all I ever heard was one of them say to the other, you're not the boss of me. But I got to remind you, we've heard that statement so many times, and we've said that statement so many times. I want to remind you by asking you, who is the boss of you? And the answer is, it's you. It's not me. Heck, if I were the boss of you, all of you would sponsor 6. Who would sponsor 6? You'd make $132,000 a year on the passive side of the equation, and you wouldn't be as concerned about closing something in the middle of January. You come here because you've decided to dedicate an hour, and some of you are brand new and you don't know what you're dedicating, but you've decided to dedicate 1 hour of your life, can't ever get it back, to something that should mean something to you. Meaning, there's got to be a reason why you're showing up, and hopefully it's because you want to set yourself up for a better career. Hopefully it's because you want to set yourself up for a better life. One of the reasons I jump on this every Monday, do level 1 training, and then we do level 2 training on Thursday. And if you want to know the difference, just chat in the chat box or say, what's the difference? And we'll explain it to you. Any question you have, you can always raise your hand. You can come on microphone, but the easiest thing is just put it in the chat box unless you're driving. If you're driving, please turn your camera off and just listen intently. But one of the things I remind people of constantly is this: you get to determine what you do, especially living in this country, no matter who's in charge. For the moment, we still get to show up at 10 o'clock Central on Monday for level 1 attraction. And I don't take this lightly. In fact, it may feel like I'm just flippant. I jump up here and I just talk. And the truth is, I am pretty flippant and I just jump up here and I talk. But what I'm talking about is what you're coming for. Now, I might not be everyone's flavor, but don't miss the content. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There is great content coming at you over the next 55 minutes, and we want you to know it exists. We want you to come on Mondays. We want you to encourage your friends to come, the ones that are in your group, to come back on Mondays. There's a reason why only 12% of our agents attract other agents. I'm going to repeat that again. There's a reason why only 12% of our agents attract other agents. And the reason isn't because the other 88% don't want an income. It's that the other 88% don't realize what I know and what you're about to get convinced on over the next hour, week of hours, month of hours, or year of hours. What I'm about to train you to do, what we do every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, and 8 a.m. Pacific, is that agent attraction is the easiest thing you'll do in real estate. And let me give you a couple of reasons why you should believe that. By the way, if you're here brand new, welcome. We want to make you feel welcomed. And the way we make you feel welcomed is saying 2 things. Number 1, welcome. And number 2, delivering content that you're looking for. We could spend a lot of time saying, oh, it's so nice to have you here. We're glad you're here. But nobody does that. And here's why they don't do that. Because we're professionals at what we do. And time is money. And you've decided to join us brand new because you've gotten a text. You've been haunted by this concept of agent attraction. Someone said that this guy on Monday, meaning me, is a lunatic, but you got to listen to him. I don't know why you're here, but here's what I'll tell you. I'm going to deliver exactly what you wanted, which is the simplest way to understand agent attraction. And here's the simplest way to, ready? Listen, I'm not going to bury the lead. We'll start with it right after. You came here because the topic today was the agent attraction mindset. And when I said a few minutes ago, or I guess a minute ago, that agent attraction is the easiest thing you're going to do with regard to real estate, and Stephanie Gillison went, by the way, which is why I want everyone on camera, because I want to see when you go, or when you go, or when you go. I want to see that so I can react to it. But let me tell you why I believe agent attraction is the easiest thing you'll ever do in real estate. Golden nugget number one. Agents are everywhere. Golden nugget number two. And some of them advertise. Golden nugget number three. There are 17,452 agents in Orlando and Tampa who sell more than $2.5 million with real estate, which means they're close enough to capping to cap. And the number one issue you're going to have will not be wanting the money, learning the script, knowing what to say. It'll be deciding who you're going to call. So today's goal is to get you over that hurdle, because my answer is you're supposed to call an agent that probably caps or does better than that, which means they do 2.5, 3 million or more. There's only 4 things we do in agent attraction. We make a list, we invite them, we show them something, we answer questions. The acronym is LISA: list, invite, show, answer. Oh my gosh. Tim, we're 7 minutes in, and I just taught the majority of people right here all they need to know. Because if you truly believed agents were everywhere, and you truly believed there's income to be earned, and I'm getting you to believe that this really is a lot easier than the transaction side of real estate, not to say you don't need to be doing that, because you do. But now you understand what the 88% are afraid of. The 88% at EXP that are not recruiting, including you if you're not recruiting, you're afraid of, you ready? Nothing that truly exists. You're afraid of the fear of not knowing what to do. And we're going to debunk that question right now. Here's what you do. You make a list of agents, those that you know and those that you don't know. What you then do is you learn a script to invite them. That's found in our Freedom Team group in Workplace. You then push them to a presentation, and there's 3 or 4 different presentations to push them to, with the goal being doing one on your own, which is eventually where you want to grow to. And then answering questions is just a series of 3-way calls between your prospect and your sponsor or someone that helps them. That's it. Now, if you really want the basics to who we are and what we do, then you want to listen to a 1-hour training I did on January 2nd, 2 weeks ago. And Kim, my guess is we'll post that in the chat at some point. But you can find it on the Freedom Team feed. You can find it on the Freedom Team support page. You won't find it anything EXP. Why? Because they do a great job with what they do, and we do an incredible job with what we do over and above what they do. But I want you to understand, if you're here for the first time, now that I've welcomed you, that we get right to it here. And the mindset of an agent attractor is someone that says, you know what? There are agents everywhere. I can find them. I can learn what to ask them. They can be interested. I can show them the information I saw. I can introduce them to someone that answers questions. And you can end up just like Jessica Ross, who's right there. Raise your hand, Jessica, who I did not know 1 week ago, but is now not only in our system, but has also introduced me to her wonderful husband because they was talking on some Zoom. She's already got a transaction in place and an offer being made in her first week here. And I didn't know her a week ago. I want you to understand that this could happen for you as well. Jessica, come on microphone for a second.
Hello.
Congratulations. Why EXP?
Why EXP? Well, first of all, you guys sought me out. I didn't come find you guys. Somebody came to me. And after listening to everything Eric had to tell me, it was much better than where I was. I'm only 2 years into real estate, and fended for both those years almost completely on my own. Very little help from my brokerage. Now, did they have trainings? Did they have all kinds of things online? Yes. But it was very much ADD. They'd start on one topic and end up so far across the spectrum that you couldn't keep up. And they were very disorganized with everything else. And don't get me wrong, they're a pretty big firm and they're throughout a good portion of the United States. But it was very unorganized and I needed organization. I am a person who needs organization because otherwise I just flounder, and I was floundering. My business was not growing enough. And the only leads I was getting were basically Op City and Prime Street. I need to get my own leads. I don't need any more leads from those. I need my own leads so that I can make the best of my business. And that's what I'm being taught now.
Jessica, thanks again. Congratulations. We appreciate everybody. Give her a circular clap. She deserves it. What I said to Jessica, as we and Sean Sturrock and Bill Rauh, as we were talking to Jessica, here's something, Golden Nugget number 4 probably. I want you to know what most agents are looking for. They're looking for the same thing Jessica's looking for. Remember, she's been in real estate for 2 years. In the last 2 years in the state of Florida, which is EXP is fairly well known in Florida. But no one had ever shown her the presentation the way we showed it to her. I want you to understand, EXP has been around for 12, 13 years at this point. But the majority of agents have still never seen EXP through your eyes. But here's the 3 S's that I said to Jessica that I think whipped her head around. After listening to her speak, and you heard her speak, all I said are the 3 S's. And this is a lesson for today that'll help you with the mindset. Here's what agents who want to come are looking for. They're looking for structure, strategy, and simplicity. Now, what's interesting is over the last 4 days, as Jessica's been coming on board, as she said earlier today on the phone, she's got a fire hose of information, but she's smiling about it. She doesn't look all that wet, and she's on our agent attraction call. I want you to understand, when you talk to the right agent, they're happy you're speaking with them. Jessica also said, we reached out to her. So that's another lesson for all of you. Unless you happen to be a very well-known agent, and if you are, please get with one of the Freedom Team leaders so we can talk about how to have more of a pull strategy rather than a push strategy. But for most of us, we don't have the reputation to attract other agents. So we need to do outbound work. And so if you're going to need to do outbound work, let's understand there is structure in how we do it. There is strategy in how we do it. But more than anything else, if you continue to come back to this training, there will be simplicity in what we do. Many of you know I'm a big believer in priorities. My message this morning, how many of you got the message this morning? The tip of the day was talking about, again, how do you set your life up to win? And I'll paraphrase it. I read a billionaire review of billionaires, and one billionaire said, make a list, prioritize the list, and do the list. That's how simple life can be. If you want your relationships, no matter what they are, to be better, prioritize certain activities. If you want your real estate transactions to be better, prioritize certain activities. And when it comes to agent attraction, you need to first prioritize understanding what you're doing. Because remember, it's structure, then it's strategy, and then it boils down to simplicity. It doesn't start simple. Anything new is not simple. It's new. Some new is hard because it's new, and some new is hard because it's hard. Agent attraction is hard because it's new. It's not hard because it's hard. Let me pause for a minute. Tim, Sean, Kathy, Jeff, anybody got Stephanie, anything to add?
I want to talk about, exactly what Jessica said. Everybody that has a fear of reaching out to an agent just to have a conversation, get to know them, it's so true. Those that are successful in this industry are very rarely ever looking to make a change, right? We don't know what's not been put in front of us. So it doesn't matter if you're brand new to the real estate industry or you're been in it for 25 years. If you, like I told you all on one of the other calls, and we have so many new people on here today, which is so exciting, which is great. Don't have a fear of making people just a tad bit uncomfortable, right? None of us like to have conversations that make us think of how we're going to change the next thing in our life, right? And, but if you push it a little bit and you get them to be just enough uncomfortable, they will go down that path with you. But just like Jessica said, and it's almost like you paid her to do that, and I know you didn't, Eric. It's first off, you all found me. I love that, because guess what? That's one of the very first things that I always say about EXP too. Oh no, EXP found me. Guys, everybody in the real estate industry wants to be so damn awesome that we all want people to find us. So give them the compliment and find them. Pick up that phone, find them, because there's somebody special, right? All salespeople want to be known for what? Being awesome. So discover them today, tomorrow, and every day.
Very cool. Thanks, Steph. Anybody else want to add something? Don't need to unless you want to. Good deal. Agent attraction mindset. Let me begin with the end in mind. Many of you know that the goal for the year, for those of you that are part of this class on a regular basis, the goal for each and every one of you, if you haven't set one for yourself, is to put yourself in a situation where you're making enough rev share money where your life actually has changed. I want you to understand what that feels like, because many of you have been so far distant from a life that's changed in a positive direction that that's part of the desperation for you coming here today. And I want you to know that you've come to the right spot. By doing the simple things we're going to ask you to do, making a list, doing it right, making an invite, learning to do it better, showing the program better and better each time, and then learning how to answer questions. By doing those tasks over and over and over, you'll get better and more successful at doing them. Here's what's cool about doing what we do. You don't have to learn more. How many businesses, including real estate? I mean, you took your license because we all wanted the same two things. We wanted an unlimited income and we wanted a flexible schedule. Now, Jessica's in 2 years and she's got no flex in her schedule and she's still looking for the dollars. Everybody can relate to that, right? Because you don't have structure, strategy, and simplicity. I want you to understand, and some of you have been around me now for a couple of years through these trainings, I will never add another responsibility to you to recruit agents. There's only 4 things you're ever going to have to do. If you're doing more than these 4 things, you're making it harder because you're going after agents that aren't ready to move. Because one of the other things we teach you is you're looking for the agent that's looking for you. Here's what that means. They not only recognize the boat as it's going by, but they're sort of swimming towards it. So often you come to these trainings and you want me to cure an issue, a problem. Oh, but I'm doing this. Well, you're doing it with the wrong people. I'm having this person say this back to me. You're talking to the wrong people. I didn't have to convince Jessica to look at it. She said, I'm interested. She looked at it. I said, do you want to know more? Yes. I sent her some more information. She then said, oh yeah, I want to ask some questions. We answered the questions, and then we gave her the application. She filled it out on her own. I want you to understand that's going to happen for you when you're talking to the right agent. And when you're not talking to the right agent, all the problems occur. And you want to come here every week and tell me about the problems. And I keep telling you, just call another agent. Oh, but what about if they have a simple question? You'll learn how to get past that as long as the first thing you learn, the first thing I want you to walk away with an agent attraction mindset is there's agents everywhere. And the second thing is, if they're making it too hard on you, they're the wrong agent. Does that make sense? Yes or no? So let's begin with the end in mind. I'm going to share my screen. First, the way you stay in the hunt, the way you, if what we're talking about today is positive to you, then you want to make sure you stay in the word of agent attraction. And you do that at freedomteamsupport.com. You slide down and you go to Freedom Team Attraction Training Recordings right there in the middle. And you can listen to this stuff anytime, all the time, because we got lots of them right there recorded. Oh, but I need more transactions right now. I need money. Okay, just to the left of that, more transactions recording. Oh, but my head's not right. You know, I got relationship issues and money issues. Oh, right above it, fill your brain bucket. Oh, but I really need live stuff. You know, the recorded stuff's great, but I need live. Well, there's a flipping calendar full of live. So I want you to understand, if you don't protect your brain, we can't help you. But I want to show you where we're headed. Where we're headed in your life is a freedom that you get because you have money coming in that you don't have to go to work for every day. I know it sounds like a far-fetched concept, but I want you to deposit in the bank of revenue share so you can extract that money later when it's compounded. I want you to invest a certain amount of time a day to learning structure, strategy, and making it simple. Because if you've never done this before, just going out and doing it may feel a little daunting. Some of you are ready to go make calls today. Do it. Some of you are not. Don't do it. Remember, you're the boss of you. But I want you to keep, again, the end in mind. So let me share my screen one more time and show you just a series of something. This is revenue share. When you bring an agent here, you can make up to $2,800 a month, a year on that agent if they cap. If they don't cap, you make a little less. If they go over cap, you make $2,800. If you want to offset your own cap, then you can bring 6 agents here over the next year, and you've now made $16,800, which is $800 more than your cap. So here's what happens when that happens. EXP is now paying you to be an EXP agent. You're collecting more than you paid in. It sounds weird, but you are now making more than what most people would call 100%. But most people don't understand why. But let me ask this question. Are you the only one on the planet that wants to offset your cap? Are you the only one that wants passive income? Are you the only one that wants some sort of residual? Are you the only one that wants to walk away from the industry at some point with some sort of income stream? Are you the only one? Of course you're not. You know you're not. This isn't rocket science. This is logic. Logic says you're not the last one that's going to find this interesting. So if you then are going to bring 6 over the course of time, why don't you help them each bring their best friend on the way in? Jessica, let's get your best friend to look. If that happens, you now have 6 who have gotten 1. You're making $36,000 a year, assuming they're all capping. If they're not capping, you make a little less. How do you make sure they're capping? You bring capping agents here. How do you make sure they won't cap? You bring new agents here. I won't say it again. You heard it the first time. New agents are difficult to work with. Here's why, people. they're good people, but they're new agents. So I'd highly recommend you start with capping and above. And by the way, are you the only one that wants to offset your cap? Of course you're not. So the 6 people you bring, you help them each bring 6 on their own. Look at the number. That's how much money is coming into your account on a yearly basis. It's not a question. It's not an if. It's not only a possibility, it is a guarantee. If you bring 6 capping agents to this company and you help them bring 6 capping agents to this company, you're going to make $132,000, not $131,999 and not $132,001. $132,000 every year. Those agents stay and cap. What is your responsibility? Your responsibility is to invite them to look. Your next responsibility is to connect them to someone that can answer their questions. And as they're onboarding, your job is to help them onboard, go through onboarding, help them, make sure their license transfers. And then your job is to make sure that you give them extra onboarding help. By doing what? By signing them up on our Freedom Team onboarding program. Your job is to encourage them to show up on their Zoom appointment so Kim can teach them exactly what they need to know coming in. You should participate in that Zoom with them. You should do that 6 times with capping agents between now and the end of the year. And you've set up $16,800. And then what you should do is make sure on a regular basis they know what they need, because they only know you and you know EXP better than they do. So you don't need to teach them and you don't need to train them. You need to guide them. And guiding only means, what are you looking for? Great, let me show you where that is.
I got a question.
I have an answer.
How do you find out if the agents you're talking to are already capping?
Well, one good way to do that is before you talk to them. 1 second, I got you off my page. Great question, by the way. You share my screen, you go here, and you say, give me the name of an agent, Miss Jessica. Give me a first name and last name of an agent. You're muted.
Nicole Brousseau.
N-I-C-H or N-I-C-O?
Nicole.
Last name?
Brousseau. I'm trying to find out how the spelling is because it's hard.
Where's she out of?
She is in the DeLand area.
Something
Florida.
like that.
She's in
Okay.
Florida. And it should be Brousseau with a B.
Brousseau. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put Nicole Brousseau right here. Let's pretend it's spelled properly. I go like this, and I shows up. She's in DeLand. There she is. I don't go to her website. I go to realtor.com. I right-click on it. I open the link. I look for Zillow and see if Zillow's here. Oh, Nicole Brousseau. I right-click on it, and I look at it. And then I go over here, and I look, and I see that Nicole has had 1 listing in Realtor. It's not always right. It's on the market, $509,000. It's been pending since 8/31. It's not going to close. Then I go to Zillow. Oh, there we go. More activity. I go down here and it says, oh, she sold this on 3/12, and she's only sold 1 property according to this in the last year. Means she's not a capper. That makes sense for you, Jessica?
Yep.
That's 2018, Eric.
Oh, that's 18, which means she may not even be alive. Thanks, Tim.
She is, but I don't know if she's updated her Zillow information.
It won't matter. It'll pick it up in most cases.
Okay.
My statement to you would be, I would consider her not likely to be a capping agent.
Okay.
Does that mean 2 things I want everybody to learn? Number 1 is, does that mean I shouldn't call her? The answer is, of course you should call her, but don't count her as a person that's going to cap, because she's not. Here's the other thing. You had a question. You asked. Did you get a quick answer? That's
Okay.
the biggest problem with realtors. You think you should already know. I want you to look at me. You don't. Unless you're making $132,000 a year in rev share, then you don't know the answer to how to recruit people. Or you'd be making $132,000 a year in rev share. It's only 6 agents who bring 6. Oh, how many is it again? 6. Who brings 6? In that case, everyone's capping. The best way to start is with a capping agent. Anybody else have a question for me at the moment? Jump on microphone and ask away.
I do.
Go ahead, Cindy.
I do. Cindy.
Yep, go ahead.
So you still make money off someone you recruited when they close a deal, whether they're capping or not, right?
Yep. Every time they cap, you make 3.5. Every time they sell, you make 3.5% if they're front line to you on their gross commission until they cap. Yep.
Right. Got it. Okay.
And to debunk something else, I get this all the time. When you're showing a presentation and you're talking about agent attraction, please be sure you add this in. I hadn't, and it is misunderstood. Be clear that you can come to EXP and sell, and never recruit. You can come to EXP and recruit like crazy and never sell. You can do whatever combination of each you want. So come and figure it out. Okay, Cindy, do you have another question?
Got it.
Thank you. Thanks for playing the game. Anybody else have another question?
I got a question.
Go ahead, sir.
In my opinion, I think production helps with your credibility and attraction, but I don't have that level of 6+, I don't have that 132,000 coming into my account. So I want to hear from you, how important is your production and tied to your attraction?
My answer to you is it's a double answer. I was accused earlier today of saying things in one way that means two things. So be careful. Here's what I'm about to say. Keith, the only reason production matters is if it matters to you. Now, with that said, if you have production, you can use that as a benefit. If you don't have production, Sean, jump on real quick. At the present moment, how many people do you have in your group?
About 2,400.
How many transactions have you personally been a part of in the last 3 years?
0.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Keith, here's what you do. You point to the information people need to see. If they need to see you, I'll give you an example. One of my favorite partners is Kathy Carter. Kathy was a broker for 8 years with RE/MAX, if I remember correctly, about 8 years with KW. So she can go in and say to somebody, hey, look, I was a broker with KW for 8 years, broker with RE/MAX for 8 years. And after 16 years doing that, I found EXP and realized how good they really are. She can say that. Why? Because she's got that experience. Jeff Morrell, number 3 agent in all of Colorado Springs, could say, look, I was a number 3 agent for the largest company in the country until I found the best company in the country. He can say that. Heath, unless you know how to catch a football as a tight end, you cannot say that. Okay? Bottom line is all you can, or you can broadcast, because he did a good job that too. What you can say is what I say. Hey, look, there's a reason why 80,000 agents are coming to this company over the last 4.5 years. I just want you to see why they're coming. Has nothing to do with me. In fact, the biggest problem with some of us agents is we think it has everything to do with us, and that's the fallacy. Stephanie Gillison, come on microphone for a second.
I'm on.
The person that showed you or asked you to look at EXP, did he, on a scale of 0 to 100, be completely honest, on a scale of 0 to 100, how much real estate capital in your mind did he have?
0.
Thank you. So why did you look?
Because I didn't need him to teach me how to do real estate. I needed him to show me the answer I was looking for as to what was going to happen to my real estate firm over the next 5 years, right? I didn't have an exit strategy. No matter how successful I was, I needed somebody who could show me a different business side of things, right? I didn't need him to teach me how to go list property. I needed him to show me and break it down the right way. So still to this day, he's done one transaction in his career, and he owns a boat and all kinds of great stuff now.
Can we get him to do one transaction every 6 months? That would be really nice. Okay.
Exactly. That's Sean's problem.
I know. Thank you, Stephanie. Keith, did you get your answer?
Got it. Thank you.
When you call an agent and you say, hi, Keith, Eric Golden with EXP. Listen, thanks for taking my call. It'll only take a minute or two. As you probably know, EXP is exploding everywhere. I'm not asking you to change brokerages. What I am going to say is this: your volume is ideal for one of our programs. And I'd love for you to see the 2023 presentation so you can see why 1,000 agents a week have been coming to our company every week for 3 years. Look, again, I don't care if you come. I just want you to know why everybody else is. Would you be open to maybe a Zoom sometime tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday morning? Which time would be better for you? Keith, if you ask that question to the right person, they say, just like Jessica did, oh yeah, I'll look at it. Some of them may say, oh, I've got some friends at EXP, and I'm going to teach you how to say, that's awesome. So what I want to show you is why they joined. Oh, they might say, oh, you know, I'm really happy where I am. And you know what I'm going to say? That's awesome. Let me show you why 1,000 agents, some of them love where they were at, still move. Again, I'm not expecting you to move. I'm just expecting you to be curious to know why 80,000 agents do anything. Nothing about production. Go ahead, Tony Williams.
Yeah, I think part of the reason we want to look for capping agents, always understand what it takes to unlock the next level. Like in order to unlock the second level for that income, you need to have 5 people on your first level, frontline qualifying agents. That means they need $5,000 worth of income every 6 months. So if we're not getting any transactions, there's someone out there that's having to make up the difference in my team. So always understand each level. I talk to some big producing agents, and they say their motivation is to get those 20 people in that certain level to unlock the next level. So always understand the frontline qualifying agent is the one that unlocks the next level of income. When you drop down below those and they're not having transactions, it locks up that next level. So to get more income, you need to have producers.
And Tony, thanks for that. We don't talk about that enough. And one of the things I want to remind everybody is this: if you are confused by what he said, be ready. Ready? Here you go. You do not need to be if you just talk to agents who sell real estate. What Tony said will happen naturally if you start with the end in mind. The end in mind is, I want to sponsor agents that have certain characteristics. Here's the first one. I want you to hear this, people. For me, it's an agent that already knows how to sell real estate. Why? Because then I don't have to work harder to get them to learn how. That's the first thing I'm looking for. Here's the second thing I'm looking for. I'm looking to get paid. That's why I'm doing this in the first place. Oh, I love people. And most of you know me. I love people. I'll help people whether I get paid or not. But I'm not helping in EXP when I'm making calls just because I like helping people. I'm doing it because I want to get paid. And so if I talk to a capping agent, I don't have to teach them how to do real estate. If I talk to a capping agent, I don't have to worry if I'm going to get paid. And the last thing, and the biggest of them all, is I'm talking to a capping agent, they know the difference between the Flintstones and the Jetsons. You talk to a brand new agent, they don't know the difference. They get a rock is a rock. Okay? Oh, by the way, there is an added benefit. If they are a capping agent, they probably have a reputation, good or bad, with other agents. So if they decided to offset their cap, if they decided they'd want to bring in some income, it makes it easier for me to work with them because they already have people to talk to and a reputation to run on. All of these things, let me tell you that what Tony just said, you don't have to concern yourself with if you're talking to agents that sell real estate. Tony, thumbs up. You agree with that? Right?
Hey, look, so I'm from a RE/MAX background, 25 years as broker owner of 3 franchises. Right now, RE/MAX, what are they doing? They're saying we have 16 transactions per agent per year closed. And then in the same graph, they're showing EXP at 6.4. It's really important that we start increasing the transaction level across the lines, encouraging people. And I just got 2 calls today where my frontline guys are getting new listings and new sales. Hey, we're excited for them, but we really do need to get more transactions per agent.
And the best way to do that is to climb into our Tuesday training, where we teach you how to have more transactions. Thanks for that, Tony, and welcome aboard. I do have another section to cover in the last 15 or 20 minutes because I told you not to leave at 55 because I don't think you should. But I wanted to go back real quick to the mindset, and then I'm going to open it up for 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll close. The mindset of an agent attractor is this. I want the world to know that I attract agents for EXP. Now, I'm not saying you got to start with that mindset. But if you're a realtor, how many times have anybody, the Ferry brothers or anybody else, has anybody said, Cardone, are you guilty of being a realtor? Does the world know you're a realtor? Oh, I'm trying to hide it. I don't want everybody to know. I don't want it to be, oh, because then they say, they see me coming. What? Why does that matter? Now, it matters if you're an ugly person. It matters if all you do is hammer them every time you talk to them. It matters if you're doing it in a way that offends them. But this is America. You're going to offend everybody doing something. The question is, I didn't want to offend my family, meaning I needed enough income to make sure I had enough income. I didn't want to offend my good friends. I didn't want to, a person that I don't know, if I offend them because I asked them, are you open to look at why 80,000 agents move? I want you to know something. You're going to offend some people by asking them to look at EXP. And the reason you're going to offend them is because someone else did it the wrong way. I'm going to say that again. Somebody else did it the wrong way. They got a friend that's hammering them over and over and over. And the friend has never gotten them in front of a presentation. But because of that, you call on the back end and they're mad at you. Oh my God, my friend's all over me. And now you're calling me. How many of you, show of hands, be honest, how many of you don't like when you get that phone call and someone's mad at you because you called them? Raise your hand if you don't like it. Is my hand up? I don't like it either. But it pays well. You know, there's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's 20 football teams right now that do not have to worry about putting pads back on, getting injured or sweaty, and friends tickets for playoff games. There's 21 teams that are not left playing, and they would prefer to be playing. Agreed? You guys want off. You guys don't want to get in there. You don't want to hit anybody. You don't want to put pads on. I do. Because it's not pads to me. It's helping other agents that are looking to find EXP. I'm not saving them all. I'm just saving whatever jump in my boat. And that's the mindset I want you to have. I want you to have the concept that you got a boat available for those that want to jump in. So if they have to want to jump in, make them feel like Jessica answered the call. Jessica said, yes, I'll look. Jessica showed up for the Zoom. Jessica looked at the follow-through information. Jessica asked more questions and got her husband on to ask more questions. And then Jessica filled out the application. Then she transferred her license. Then she took a brand new listing over, and she's got an offer on it. She wanted to do all of those things. But I got to tell you, I did have someone that hung up on me last Tuesday, and I cried about it for weeks. What? Come on, people. I mean, what are we doing here? You know you're looking for the one that's looking for you, so why does it care what anybody else does or says? Here's why it cares. Because you let it. I don't. It bothers me long enough for me to get over it. And I get over it quick. Oh, but I'm very sensitive. toughen up. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being honest. You wanted structure, you wanted strategy and simplicity. Here's simple. Just call the next person. That's simple. I promise you, when you call the right person, you'll ignore and forget everybody else you talk to. The minute we talk to Jessica, I don't remember who else I talked to that day, and don't flip and care. Do you? You remember all these little arrows you took trying to do this. When you're forgetting, the only reason you remember the arrows is because you have no good stuff behind it. If you, on the 22nd, in about 7 days, we're all going to get a direct deposit for our revenue share group. Oh, wait a second. Some of you are not going to get one. You could, and it could be $132,000 or $11,000 a month next year at this time. How do I do that, Eric? Well, make a list and learn how to invite them, show them the information, answer questions. Oh, Eric, it can't be that easy. It is. It can't be that simple. It is. I'm going to say to you, it can't be that hard. And you're going to say to me, but it is. I guess I'm looking at it differently. And that's why you show up every week. So I can begin to play with your heads. Why? Because someone else has been playing with them for 50 years. And it just hasn't manifested to a retirement income. Let me pause before I get to the last burst of energy. Sturrock, you got something to share? All good. Morale, we good? Yay, team. Okay.
Hey, I've got a question for you.
Go ahead, question.
This is Rachel Ivy. I'm in Orange Beach, Alabama.
Go ahead. Ask away.
I've been with EXP for hold on. I've been with EXP for quite a few years, and just didn't realize that this was out there, and I'm kicking myself in the ass because the people that I would have brought are already with us. But one of my biggest is, how do I not come across as a salesperson? And two, even though those people that we talk to aren't interested, wouldn't it be beneficial at this point in where we are with people not making the income and those things to say, hey, if anybody in your brokerage or someone that you're close to or whatever isn't happy with their current place of business, just reach out to them and let them know that I'd love to talk to them. Yeah. Is that a good thought?
Okay, so there's two things you asked. Number one is, how do you not come across as a salesperson? And by the way, great questions, Rachel. We're glad you're here. And the second one is, should I ask for referrals? Well, let me go back to Guru World 101. Every one of you have always heard ask for referrals. You don't get hurt asking for referrals, correct? Nobody gets injured asking for referrals. Now, do I expect they're going to give me any? No. But over the course of a year, if I made 5 calls a day, 5 days a week, it'd be 1,300 calls in a year. Over the course of 1,300, somebody's going to refer somebody to me. So Rachel, never hurts to ask for a referral in anything you do ever, okay? That's number one. Here's number two. How to not come across as a salesperson. Here's the answer to that. Improve what you're doing until you don't come across as a salesperson. So the first time you say it, it should sound robotic. Hi, this is Eric. You know me. We did a deal together on Clark. Hey, I really enjoyed meeting you then. By the way, you probably know EXP's exploding. I'm not asking you to change brokers. You're going to sound like that until you sound like this. I'm not asking you to change brokers, but there's a reason why 80,000 agents have come over the last few years. Your volume is ideal for one of our programs. Immediately, somebody's going to think I'm a salesperson. Rachel, the only person I don't want thinking you're a salesperson is you. Golden Nugget number 6, 5, 7. The only person I'm concerned about is the only person you need to be concerned about. And that's the way you think of you. If you make 5 calls a day, 25 calls a week, and you say the same thing to all of them, some of them are thinking you're a salesperson. And some of them are thinking you're rude for interrupting their day. And 1, 2, or 3 of them are going to be glad you called. And because of that, you're now making an extra $3, $4, $6, $8, $10,000 a year. To me, it was worth it. Does that make sense to you? Make sense to everybody else? Thumbs up. Good deal. Any other questions coming at me? Miss Trish, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually have a comment, Eric. Thank you. This is excellent. I started my real estate career making cold calls. And at the time, my broker told me, you're going to call people and some will be rude, some will hang up on you, some will not be interested. But approximately every 12 to 14 calls, you'll get somebody nice on the phone who is actually interested. And so every time I got somebody, and I still do, right? I still cold call, and people are still rude or hang up or not interested. It's just normal. And I just get through it thinking about that, what he said to me 35 years ago. And I have this little sheet, I just mark them off. I got 5, I got 10, I got 12. Sometimes I don't get that many, and I get a really nice person who is interested, who is open. And that just makes all those other attempts like just fade out of my consciousness, and makes me willing to just start again. And after this one good person, and I set an appointment, I just keep going. So don't take it personally. They don't necessarily know why you're calling. It's not the right time. It's like calling a seller or a homeowner who's not ready to sell. It's the same thing. So don't take it personally. Just keep going if it's worth it to you, right? I mean, it sounds worth it to me. And I love that Eric gives us the script and the support every week to help us do this.
Thank you, Miss Trish. You can put your hand down. Great comment. I'm going to make a comment that will shift a little bit. I've learned over time not to say, my experience, Trish, not to say, don't feel this way. You feel any way you're going to feel. Just realize at some point you won't feel that way. If you do this enough, at some point, don't get me wrong, the no's, the hangups, the rude people, which does not happen that often, it cuts, it hurts, it scars. And I got them. I have scars to prove it. But I also have a bank account, a lifestyle, a freedom. Most of us have scars from being beaten down rather than scars from breaking free. You make the call. You make the decision. There isn't a person sitting right here, right now, not one of you that probably couldn't use more leads. You should go to the Freedom Team support page and register for the KV Core Mastery Program. Oh, but what's going to cost me? No. What's going to cost you is you'll never have leads if you don't know how to develop them yourself. It's not going to get easier. They're getting more expensive. And more importantly than that, they're getting worse. The leads you're getting, and you're competing with everybody else. We're now scrambling to get to the phone first, rather than just mining for your own. Oh, I need more transactions. Tomorrow, we're going to do a training on more transactions, and it will be the best training you go to tomorrow. Unless you don't go, and then you won't have any training. And you'll wake up Wednesday and go, I wish I would have gone on Tuesday. So that's what we do. We do it all the time. People, you are bright. If not, act like it. Pretend you are. Make a list of the things you know you should be doing and do it. Prioritize the list so you make sure you get done the things you should be doing and it doesn't get caught up in the riffraff of the things that are lower priority. And then lastly, get off the couch and just do the work. And here's what you should say to me. Eric, you have no idea how hard I work. I don't care. I care what results you have. And if you don't have the results you have that you want, then I really care. I want to help you. If you already have the results you're looking for, I don't need to help you. We don't need to help you, but you're on this call because you want something more than you presently have. And we got your back. We got you. We will help you do this as long as it takes. I'm going to show up on Monday this year, and I'm going to remind you that you're 6 agents with 6 agents away from $132,000. That visual, you need to write that and put it up. Oh, Eric's telling me to do something. That sounds like a good idea. I'm going to say it again. I'm about to tell you something that sounds like a good idea. I want you to make a picture of you. And like a solar system, put 6 circles away from you and have each of them have 6 circles. And now you're all going, oh, I'm in one of those network things. Why do you have to call it anything? What you're in is one of those freedom things. Make that picture and put it right on your bathroom mirror. And here's what you're going to tell me. Oh, I'd never do that. Okay. I'm telling you it'll work. Try me. Go put it on your bathroom mirror that you have to look at every day. One of 3 things are going to happen. It'll either piss you off enough to go make calls, it'll inspire you enough to go make calls, or it'll fade in and you won't even notice it in 3 weeks. But any of those is a pulse. Any of those is a movement. Any of those gets you to do what you came here to do, which is learn how to agent attract. The structure is set. Every Monday you come here. Why? Because this is what we do. Then what do? You learn through the week how to do what we talk about on Monday. That's the strategy. The structure, you come every Monday. The strategy, you spend the week churning, breaking out, breaking free, getting scars, earning income, earning experience, and then you come back so we can simplify it. Because that's what we'll do. We'll make everything you do easier. Tony, you were a broker for RE/MAX for a number of years. You were incredibly successful at doing that. And what you learned is how to make me as a real estate agent. You now know how to make my life simpler and more productive. And all I've got to do is keep coming back to you for guidance.
Yeah, it's a matter of being the source. They're looking for a source, and they'll remember you if you source out to them.
And we can only source you if you find us, and you'll find us every Monday here. Transactions every Tuesday here. Lead generation every Wednesday here. An additional agent attraction for upper learning every Thursday here. You want leads, KV Core. You want to get your thinking right, go to the Brain Bucket of Freedom Team Support. What should everybody be doing? Going to Freedom Team Feed in Workplace. Ask your questions there. We'll answer it. Review the content there and get motivated, educated, inspired, and change your life. 2023 is going to be a year like you can only imagine. It could be the best year of your life, and it starts with wanting a better life. And the next thing you got to do is walk to the light. That's enough light for everybody today. I'm hopeful that you caught an hour's worth of good stuff. If not, at least a minute's worth, because that's all you need in order to move you forward. Thanks for everybody for playing. Thanks for everybody for coming. Please encourage others to come as well. You know we do this every day at the exact same time on the exact same link. We'll see you next time.